Good morning. We are out here in Michigan. Just got in here, oh, what, 2 days ago? Or yesterday? I don't know. Been a busy couple days. Got Kylo with me. He always comes with me back to Michigan. My family loves to see him and all my friends, and so I bring him with me. We are going to the office. I stayed at my best friend Alex's place last night. He also works with Real Estate Lab. I'm kind of a co-founder of mine. He's been with me since the beginning. Okay, and we're going in the front seat now. Me and him are heading into the office now. I've got a commercial building in a city called Ferndale here. We're gonna go check it out. I've got some cool things actually in the works there. We may be potentially doing a vertical development on that site. So a lot of cool things going on. And then I've got a couple other properties in the area I'm gonna hit, and whenever I come back to Michigan, I do my walkthroughs of all our assets, make sure everything's in good shape, well maintained, no problems that have been left unseen. And then I normally line up just a bunch of meetings with people back here. So I've got a meeting this afternoon with 2 developer friends of mine. I've got a dinner tonight with some investors. I've got a couple meetings this morning with our software leadership team, Alex and Steve. Tomorrow we've got a meeting with a builder who could potentially be developing our commercial site here downtown Ferndale. So just got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of good stuff in the works. I'm gonna pop over there to the office and show you guys what we're working with and some of the cool spaces we got. Here at 211 West Troy. I was telling you guys about it this morning. This is a retail office building that we bought, gosh, like 5-6 years ago. It took us forever to figure out what we wanted to do with it, but we ended up completely refacing the building. As you can see, it looks brand new. We redid the roof, the foundation. We redid like a ton of stuff on it. We spent, I think we bought it for $1 million and we spent like 1.5 million renovating it. Our goal was to lease it up to retail tenants. We leased 1, 2, 3 spaces, and then one of our spaces was to an F45 who ended up closing down like 45 locations across the whole Midwest. One of them just happened to be ours 7 months after they leased the space. And then the middle space, the lady started up this art gallery and honestly couldn't keep her business open and couldn't afford rent, so she had to dip. So just all these learning lessons on commercial and retail space. But we're actually having some really great discussions right now with a restaurant on this space, and then I kind of use it as a temporary office when I'm in town. And we're also, something really cool, we'll flash up a photo here, but we're also considering going vertical. This space, as you can see, we have this huge city parking deck next to us, and this lot, we can go up about 70 feet. So we can develop 70 feet tall, which is, I think, a 6-story building. So we've got first story, and then we'll build 5 stories of apartments over it. We've got some designs already, preliminary, and we're gonna be talking to the city in a couple weeks about it. So, you know, we got some crazy plans in the works. You know, we might be doing this big development here. So anyways, this is a cool town, great for apartments and rentals. So we actually own that building over there, the brick, 3-story brick building. We own some other stuff across Woodward over that way. And then in the city just north of this, it's called Royal Oak. We own a bunch of apartments there as well. So these are kind of my towns that I like to invest and play in because there's a lot of growth, a lot of development. The cities are allowing these bigger developments. So whenever you're getting into those type of areas long term, that growth will always lift your rents up, lift your prices up over a 5, 10, 20-year period. So we love buying in these areas where they've got that vertical growth. They're downtown, they're walkable. This is right behind Main Street. That's Main Street out on right 1 block that way. So we're 1 block behind Main Street, but there's still a lot of foot traffic here, and it's you know, it's a great area to be in. This is Troy Street, and I'll show you in the office here once our friend's done making a demo. So this is a really cool area. Like I said, I call it like an infill downtown area. And what that means is you get a lot of walkability, a lot of flexible zoning. You know, you can have stuff like a little commercial retail next to a 3-story building. This is actually a building that we own. We bought it a year and a half ago. We completely renovated it. And it's a 12 apartments and 2 commercial units. Wherever you have a potential for really big developments and verticality, you know, where a city lets you build multiple stories over time, that density leads to a lot of appreciation and rental growth, more people in the area, you know, more demand. And so you want to be kind of close to those downtown areas, right? It's always been just a good little town. It was kind of sleepy for a couple decades, but it's always grown. You know, there's a big development that went up over there called Ferndale House. It's like 100 apartments. And then this is kind of like the main street here. So you have a bunch of like stores, shops. Come on, bud. So this is the front of our building here. That's the front of our little 16 unit, 2 retail, and then we've got 12 apartments. And the apartments rent for, I don't know, when we bought it, they were going for like 800, but now I think our 1 bedrooms are 1,800 and our 2 bedrooms are 2,200. They don't even have laundry in the unit. We have basement laundry that's shared, which is crazy. You know, that just goes to show that this area supports some pretty good rents. You know, it's not like Seattle or anything, or downtown Austin, but for Michigan, it's not bad. A lot of potential here is all I'm saying. And we'd get some great rents being right downtown. Bringing more apartments to the area is great for all the businesses around here. The more people that live in an area, the more it's going to attract companies to want to have their offices here, the more it's going to attract retail businesses, restaurants, stores, shops, etc. And the more people that live in a downtown area like this, it boosts all of the economy around the area because of that, having higher density. We're big proponents of that. We love to push for the density. We think it's great. So, you know, we're really interested in going and potentially developing the site. So we'll let you know how it shakes out. We got Mike here with us, and he's a developer, and he's built some really cool stuff up in Auburn Hills. So we're looking through our building here with him and my partner Steve to see what maybe we can do on a development up and over.
Okay, so I mean the biggest question is going to be, how do you bear anything on this side of the building? You can use this space,
correct,
of course, for something in the front corner, but spanning all the way to the back isn't going to work. It's too.
What about inside the building in that back space?
Inside, and I was trying to avoid disruption, but it's unavoidable.
Well, their space isn't to the back quite yet.
And something's got to hold it over here, and you know, you don't have to destroy the whole building to do it, but they'll go down, take out the foundation that's there, temporarily support the side of the building, build the new foundation. It ain't cheap. It ain't cheap, but I hear you on land basis, and so for that reason.
But what if we're doing the next door space? Like at that point, would it make sense to just knock it down? You think? Or
at that point, I think you might get there. I mean, it really comes down to
someone
units.
bear a $3 million cost basis plus the whatever that land is, 3.5 on a. I mean, at that point, it'd probably be a $20 million development.
Yeah, you'd be close to that. And let's see,
we can go up 70 something feet, I think.
So let's just say you could get the next door for what, half? I mean,
I think we get it for like $500K maybe.
Yeah, $500,000. So if you had 3.5. I mean, I always start at 25,000 a unit as like a baseline, so you'd have to get 140 out of that.
Okay.
So if you got 140
well, if we're going
units,
60 up just on this, I imagine we can come close to that.
You look for land basis per unit, right? So if you take the retail out of it for a second, and you think 3 million here, $500,000 there. So if you can get 140 units.
Even in a dense area like this, 25,000 a unit?
No, I think you might be able to go up on that.
Okay.
Slightly. I mean, I think
know
maybe,
in Austin, there some spots are like 50, 60,000 a unit.
Yeah. And it can, I mean, I see that
or more,
sometimes, like the unit, but I don't see that very often for multi. 25,000 is kind of the high water mark.
Okay, for Michigan here?
Yeah, for this area.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, let's check that out. He said about 25,000 a unit for the land basis. So he's saying if we get the lot next door for 500 plus this is 3 million, we've kind of got to build 140 units for it to make sense.
Gotcha.
What would your next step be? Would you sit down with the city right away? We have that kind of rendering I showed you in floor plan. Would you sit down with the city and just bring it up to them?
100%.
And
we email planning and building.
Always talk to the city first.
Yeah, we email
don't
them.
spin your wheels on anything
until we know.
At least, unless there's a strategic advantage to secrecy, you know, like if you're working on, which like I don't think there is.
No, because we already own the site.
Exactly, you already own it. There's none.
We don't want to go out, you know, especially the engagement about this, because we think that will probably be an issue. Like if he hears about it, we'd rather, you know, see what happens.
So I would get in front of them, like private meeting, not talking about a public PC meeting.
Of course,
just going right with them, right?
Yeah.
Sit down and say, look, we own this site. We want to build some multi. We want to bring multi in here. We know you guys want more housing. We've imagined it these couple of ways, and we just want to get some preliminary feedback to see what makes sense for us to continue thinking about. And then they'll tell you. I mean, they might tell you, we'll give you this parking lot if you build us another 50 units on top of it.
Correct. They might. I truly think that things like that could happen.
Yeah, exactly. And you just won't know until you talk to them. So I definitely start there. I think one thing to think about too is what's going on under the slab in the corners. You might have utility connections.
We do have some utilities. So like this is our electrical room right here.
Yeah, so more, yeah, exactly. So actually, all that conduit's probably running in.
Oh, yeah, right. We did go up and over. Yeah, you're right.
We didn't do that yet. We were going to do it, try to go under, but we didn't really have to. But I will say for these, when they built the deck back here, along, I want to say there's a bunch of tanks, but utility, I want to say gas is back here. Water's in the front by the street.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that'd be all right then. I mean, all the utility systems are going to be rebuilt anyways with the new structure, including the ones that power in here, because none of the stuff was sized appropriately for something way bigger. So like all this is going to change anyways. So even if there are connections in the corners, it's stuff that's replaceable.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So I mean, those would be my steps.